Yeah. Huh? Oh, I forgot to bring the extra copy to the paper. Capri. What? Okay, you give it to Capri. I forget. You can give it to Capri. Give it to him? Yeah, yeah. Tell him because I got it in my office. So. All right. Oh, okay. All right. Good evening. I'm gonna now call the town council meeting of March the 4th, 2025 to order. I'm gonna ask the clerk to take the roll, please.
Councilmember Peterson. Present. Councilmember Fields. Councilmember Young.
Here.
Chair Pro Tem Miles. Present. Vice Mayor Nicholson. Thank you. Mayor Wood.
Present. Okay, we have a quorum. We're gonna ask Minister Divine Gray to open us up in prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
And please bow our heads. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to assemble today here freely. Father, we thank you for the fact that your word teaches us that we are to give all supplication, prayers, and intercessions for all of those who are in authority, that we may live peaceful lives. And so, Father, here today we ask that you will have your hand on these proceedings, give knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in all that is going to take place here today, Father, and may it be done in decency and in order and to your satisfaction. We thank you for all that you do in our lives, and we ask these things in the name of your Son, Jesus, who we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Next on our agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Any changes, amendments to the agenda? Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt the agenda. Oh, no, sorry.
Madam Town Manager?
Mayor Wood, we need to remove item J from the agenda.
Okay.
The consent, yeah, the agenda. Thank you.
Okay. All right, item J. Okay, Mr. Pete?
Mayor, I move that we adopt the agenda with the removal of item J.
Okay.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and second. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, Madam Clerk, call for the question.
Councilmember Peterson. Aye. Councilmember Pete.
Yes.
Councilmember Fields.
Yes.
Councilmember Young.
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miles. Aye. Mayor Wood.
Yes.
Motion's passed.
All right, the agenda has been properly adopted. First on our agenda is a proclamation honoring the Old Dominion, Virginia chapter of the Links Incorporated. Whereas the town of Dumfries proudly recognizes Women's History Month, celebrating the achievements, the leadership, and contributions of women who have shaped history and continue to make lasting impacts in our community. And whereas the Old Dominion, Virginia chapter of the Links Incorporated was chartered on September 18th, 1993 as the 250th chapter of the Links Incorporated, whereas the Old Dominion, Virginia chapter of the Links is committed to the national organization mission of being linked in friendship, connected in service, fostering a network of professional women dedicated to strengthening communities through education, advocacy, and service. And whereas they actively deliver transformative programming through 5 service areas: the arts, services to the youth, national trends and services, international trends and services, health and human services, and all of this ensuring there is a holistic approach to community impact. And whereas they have made a profound difference here in the town of Dumfries through its fight against food insecurity, organizing a food insecurity program that provides hundreds of bags of food to the area elementary schools to support students and families in need. And whereas they've invested in the future of young women by mentoring girls at our Boys and Girls Club, here at the General Heiser Club, in Dumfries, providing guidance, leadership development, and empowerment to shape the next generation of leaders. And whereas they continue to prioritize access to educational tools and resources through its backpack program, equipping students with the supplies necessary for academic success and fostering a culture of learning and achievement. Whereas the chapter has celebrated and elevated the arts by hosting a National Night of the Arts, a platform for high school students to showcase their creative talents, reinforcing the importance of cultural expression, self-confidence, and artistic appreciation in our community. And whereas the chapter has championed health and wellness initiatives, including a partnership with the Colgate Bright Students, the Bright Futures program, which provided local students with access to dental van and dental screenings, education, and preventive care, ensuring brighter and healthier futures for the children in Dumfries. And whereas they have earned numerous awards and recognitions for its exemplary service, dedication, and leadership, reinforcing its status as a pillar of strength and transformation within the community. Now be it resolved that the Council of Dumfries do hereby proclaim March 4th as Old Dominion Virginia Chapter of the Links Incorporated Day and encourage all residents to recognize, to support, and to celebrate the invaluable work this outstanding organization does. Be it further resolved that we encourage all our community members to take part in Women's History Month by celebrating, uplifting, and recognizing the contributions of women, organizations like the Old Dominion Virginia Chapter of the Links, whose dedication to service continues to enrich our town and to inspire future generations. Signed, Mayor Derek R. Wood, by order of the council. Three and three. Hey, good to see you again. Yes. For one, let's split it 3 and 3. Oh, your sister. Sorry. Thanks.
Thank you so very much. My name is Allison Blow. I'm the president of the Old Dominion chapter of the Links Incorporated. We are happy to be the 250th chapter within the Links Incorporated. And we want to thank Mayor Wood, Executive Committee, for your proclamation today. Thank you so very much. We are very honored. Thank you so very much.
And I do want to, I don't got a proclamation for you, but I got to acknowledge you as an Olympic gold medalist. And I said, stand up and recognize Miss Bonita Fitzgerald. Yeah. You know, her and her mom both got streets and schools named after them. They so fancy. All right, we have a proclamation honoring the Hey, listen, and can I tell this fun fact? I know Miss Washington would tell it, that she talked her into actually running track. Yeah, as a gym teacher. It's all, so she's the reason she's a gold medalist. No, she wouldn't have ran track. Yeah, she wouldn't have ran track.
She would have never have run track in the world.
Yeah, as their gym teacher. Yeah. You know, I have to tell those facts. It all come out of Dumfries.
Gymnast.
Yes.
And she taught me how to be a gymnast and coming on the track. Very smart decision.
Glad to tell that. I know you don't like those stories, but that's good. All right. Next is a proclamation honoring the Dale City Prince William County chapter of the Top Ladies of Distinction. Again, we recognize Women History Month, the leadership contributions that women make, and the Del City Prince William County chapter of Top Ladies of Distinction, who are well-dressed, have demonstrated an unwavering commitment to enhancing the quality of life for individuals and families in Dumfries, Prince William, and the surrounding areas through their meaningful outreach and community-based initiatives. They have actively fostered partnerships and service programs that align with its mission to uplift the community, including a memorandum of understanding with ACTS, through which the organization provides essential donations such as coffee, sheets, blankets, towels, food, and clothing to the ACTS Women's Shelter, offering critical support to those in need. And whereas the Del City Prince William County chapter has built strong community partnerships with organizations such as the IHOP in Dumfries, Tribute at the Glens Adult Daycare and the Woodbridge Adult Daycare, creating opportunities to engage, serve, and uplift vulnerable populations in Dumfries and Prince William. And the chapter has collaborated with the Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated and the Department of Social Services Foster Care to provide essential toiletries collected and packaged by their top teens, demonstrating their dedication to youth empowerment and social responsibility. And whereas the chapter has prioritized education and youth development, supporting students at Minnieville through STEM, projects that create a socially distanced outdoor playground, and a reading program to encourage literacy. Whereas the chapter has also enriched the educational experience at other schools by celebrating Black History Month with 15-minute reading sessions and engaging activities for students in grades K through 5, fostering a deep understanding of culture and history among young learners. And whereas the chapter has expanded its outreach through an ongoing partnership with the Ripon Middle School, further strengthened its educational impact in the county, whereas its steadfast effort to promote literacy and access to books has installed and continues to maintain 4 little free libraries throughout the county, including the one at the Hilda Bard's homeless shelter, ensuring that individuals of all ages have access to reading materials, including banned books that inspired knowledge, empowerment, and critical thinking. And whereas the Del City Prince William County chapter of Top Ladies of Distinction Incorporated is an award-winning organization that continues to be recognized for its dedication to service, education, and empowerment of individuals and families throughout the county. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Council of Dumfries hereby proclaim the Top Ladies of Distinction Day in Town of Dumfries and encourage all residents to recognize, support, celebrate the invaluable work of this outstanding organization. Be it further resolved that we encourage our entire community to take part in Women's History Month and celebrate organizations like the Del City Prince William County Top Ladies of Distinction. Signed, Mayor Derek R. Wood, by order of the Town Council.
My name is Allison Riley. I'm the president of the Dale City Prince William County chapter of Top Ladies of Distinction. And beside me is our organizer. Without her vision, we would not be in existence. We've been in existence in the area since September 13, 2008. And I would like for Lady Pauline, we call ourselves ladies, and that's because of Lady Bird Johnson. That's where it came stem from, because she was our visionary for beautifying America. So she started this, and we are ladies. So I'll refer to her as Lady Pauline, and I will let her speak.
on behalf of this wonderful organization, I truly want to thank you, Mayor, for honoring us here tonight with this esteemed and cherished proclamation. It is encouraging to be appreciated, but we do it because service is the umbrella that gives the shade for what we do. And we do it from the heart. And we just want to make our community and community at large a better place. And you are making us feel seen, recognized, and our service valued. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the minutes from the meeting on February 18, 2025.
Second. It's been motion and second. Madam Clerk, please call for the, any discussion? All right, seeing none, Madam Clerk, call for the question.
Councilmember Peterson? Aye. Councilmember Pete?
Yes.
Councilmember Fields?
Yes.
Councilmember Young?
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miles?
Aye.
Mayor Wood?
Yes.
That motion is passed.
All right. Are there any citizens signed up to speak tonight? For
Yes.
citizen comment time?
Yes, we have some citizens that signed up. We also have some presenters that signed up. So when I get to the name, just let me know if you want to speak, I guess.
They can speak during
They
their,
can speak
during their presentation.
Okay. The first speaker is Caprice Piper.
Is that for your
Is that for the
presentation?
presentation?
Okay.
Okay.
So then,
Carrie Kurtz. She got citizen.
is that for presentation, citizen comment?
It's just, yeah, a couple of questions.
Yes, come on. We don't usually respond. We give citizens about 2 minutes to be able to speak, and then we'll take down the notes and get back to you as appropriate.
Awesome. Hi, Carrie Kurtz. I've been a resident for the town of Dumfries for 5 years now, and there's my first time actually being a part of this, so I appreciate the opportunity to speak, so thank you. So I apologize if I don't understand the formality. So the two things that for me as an active citizen that I would love to bring to the attention.
And state your address for the record
Oh,
too.
18117 Tebbs Lane. So right around the corner, Knolls of Dumfries. There's two things I would like to get further clarification on, maybe for a future date. The first one is the increased traffic along Route 1. We were of the understanding that some of the closing of the businesses was going to afford an opportunity to create maybe some new traffic patterns. It appears there hasn't been any traction or movement. Perhaps this has been discussed before, and I apologize for my own ignorance, not knowing, but as a citizen, the traffic's getting worse. In fact, today, there was a bus that blew up on the OmniRide one, so traffic was awful just getting off of the route or 152 exit. So I know not necessarily we can do something because we're a part of several towns along Route 1, but it's something that I would be very curious, and I think others of my neighbors would feel the same. The second thing is there's a new construction project that just opened in the backside of the Knolls of Dumfries. I personally wasn't aware of it, not to say that my own ignorance, again, was any reason to call this attention to folks. I guess the concerning factor is the woods that were behind there that I think enjoyed by many of us, neighbors of mine who've been there 30 plus years, enjoyed that area. And it looks like most of that is gone now and being cut down. And I'm just curious, when we looked at the actual schematics on it, it looks like it was essentially Prince William County property and not owned by, so you guys are like, yeah, we didn't know that. And I'm curious kind of the evolution of that discussion. And was there a vote by the neighborhood areas, or was there, because it's essentially an easement to Prince William County, we don't get a say? My assumption is the latter, but it was just sad for me because it's one of the reasons why I moved from Alexandria back here to have a place for my dogs to run around and have that. Again, it was never mine. I owned it. I get it. We are entitled to what our property is, but it's just something I wanted to call to attention. So with that, I thank you. I yield my 52 seconds to the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Anyone else signed up?
That's it.
Okay. All right, council comments. All right, Councilman Fields, you have any comments tonight?
Yes, I do. I'll be very brief, because we have a packed agenda. Oh, they left, man. I put my head down and look up their corner. But listen, those that were here, wonderful ladies that are here. I'm glad to see you here. And, you know, we're still doing history. Just because Black History Month is over, it doesn't mean we still don't continue making history and acknowledging history. So thank you for being here, and keep on doing what you do, because like I like to quote, may the work you do speak for you. And you're definitely putting in the work, and you're definitely doing the work. I'm glad you came out to our meeting, and yes, we hear you. We know that traffic is bad in our area. The infrastructure is underway. So you may not see it, but the infrastructure is underway to create what we call our Route 1 widening project. So that's on the way. So I hope that answers your question. As far as traffic and obstruction, we've had that conversation in depth quite a few months ago. I'm quite sure some of your neighbors will be able to fill you in on those very, very intense and sometimes heated discussions. So I'll do my part to try to satisfy some of your questions in that regard. Otherwise, we have March is here. Spring is coming, I hope. I don't want to see any more snow, but let's stay tuned for hopefully the winter is gone and a great spring. And again, thanks for coming out.
Councilman Young?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be brief also. Just want to really and truly thank town manager and the staff for putting on a wonderful 2025 Dumfries Black History event at Little Union. It was amazing. In case if you missed it, you missed a great presentation and celebrating Black History Month with singing, with dancing, and just overall, just a great performance and lessons in Black history. Also, I attended the 2025 Black History Month Commonwealth Coffee with the senators Mark Warner and Tim Kaine, along with Congresswoman Jennifer McLean, Congressman Eugene Vindman, and Congressman Bobby Scott. And that also too was it was powerful. The bishop from down, I believe it was Lynchburg, Virginia, had a powerful prayer, and the singing by the Norfolk State Concert Choir, Norfolk State University Concert Choir was amazing. Lastly, I just want to give a quick, in recognition, this is the month of March, and it's Women in History Month. And in recognition of Women in History Month, I want to highlight 3 women who are in the midst of us today. One is missing, but there is one other one. Vice Mayor Monet Nicholson, Chair Pro Tem Selenia Miles, and Councilwoman Katrina Peterson, as well as former council member Ms. Gwen Washington. And I want to take a moment to express my deepest appreciation for your leadership and dedication to our community. Your work as elected officials and former officials is truly inspiring, and I am grateful for the positive impact that you continue to have on the lives of so many of the members of the town of Dumfries. As trailblazers in your own right, you remind us of a groundbreaking legacy of leaders like Shirley Chisholm. In 1969, Chisholm made history by becoming the first African-American woman to serve in Congress. She once referred to herself as the first Black woman congressman, and went on to become the founding member of both the Congressional Black Caucus and the Congressional Women's Caucus. Her courage, determination, and advocacy for justice have paved the way for future generations of leaders, including yourselves. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to service and for carrying forward the values of equality and progress that Shirley Chisholm embodied. Your leadership is a beacon of hope, and your efforts continue to inspire and empower us all. Thank you for continuing to make the month of March truly great women in history. Thank you.
Councilwoman Peterson?
Well, first, I think I gotta thank Russ for that comment. I thought I'm amazing up here. But then I'd like to thank Dumfries Elementary for allowing me to come and read with them for, March Reading Week. I got to read to the second graders and it was amazing. I started reading to them and then they stood in line and wanted to read to me. So I thought it was great. And then I left and I was trying to say goodbye and they wanted to take a picture with me. So I just loved it. But thank you, Dumfries Elementary. And I yield.
Councilman Pete.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Thank you to all the citizens that are here today, that have come out here to fest tea with us at our council meeting. It was a pleasure to have you all here. Continue all citizens that are doing their due diligence to enhance and support our youth and community as far as growth goes. Can please continue to do your services. I want to thank you all personally for that. And I believe that all the rest of our council members can say the same. Thank you guys for doing what you do. I would like to move on to, first I would like to set a motion to minimize our proclamations to 3 proclamations per council meeting. That's my motion.
I don't think there's no second on the motion. So.
Okay, no problem. We move on. Moving forward, I'm going to also ask that my fellow council members, as we get ready to implement all of these events throughout the calendar year, as I monitored last year, and I hope that we don't move on this. I wouldn't like for us to move on to last year because it was a little troublesome for some of our staff members that as we're doing it now, come up with our events for the year and that we stick to our events for the year, and that out of respect that so we don't have anyone throwing in events throughout the calendar year or trying to get events installed throughout the calendar year. As I monitored it last year, it was a little, it was tough, but the department got it through. But I'm just going to ask my fellow council members if we could respectfully at the time, while we're in the process now of implementing those events, that we do so at the proper time and that we stick to the script for our duration of the fiscal year. Also, for the town manager, if we could get with the, just doing a recycle on this one here, if we can get with as we're getting warm, I'm seeing them a little bit, but if we can get with the Williamstown HOA to see what we can do about that rat situation that they have over there in that area there. That's all I have for this evening, Mayor. Thank you.
Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to thank Councilman Young for those words. It was very heartfelt. And honestly, I don't think you know what you've done because you used my name in the same name sentence as Shirley Chisholm. So as far as I'm concerned, the meeting is over and we can go home. It can't tell me nothing for the rest of the week. But in all seriousness, I just want to implore all of us. Everyone's dealing in trying times now with changes in weather, different things going on as a country, as a community. I do want to ask all of us to make sure that we're showing grace to our neighbors, and our friends, and our loved ones, and just make sure that we're all looking out for each other. And also on that note, spring break is coming up. The kids are going to be out of school. You're going to get a presentation from the Boys and Girls Club later, so pay attention to some of the programs that are going to be offered. It's a great opportunity to get the kids involved in the community. And with that, I will yield back.
Thank you. To our speaker tonight, I think Councilman Fields touched a little bit on the traffic. We do have some problem, and the construction, you're absolutely right, we had nothing to do. We do want to implore you, we have an app called the Dumfries Citizens Connect app. It's a free app. It keeps you connected. When you see something, you can take pictures of it, you can upload. It's a very interactive app. There are also notifications that go out when we have meetings, when we have community events and different things. So download the Dumfries Citizen Connect app. So even when you're not here, you can see our YouTube channel, and there are other things on the app that are pretty comprehensive to what's going on in the community. my prepared remarks for tonight is, just a reminder, our vision is simple here as a council, but it's very powerful to have a well-managed government, a thriving downtown community, and a community that stays engaged with the town. And everything we do, every decision we make up here as a body is centered around that particular vision. February was a strong month of progress and growth. You heard some of the things. We celebrated Black History over at Little Union Baptist Church. And it was a great program along with Councilman Young. I want to extend my appreciation to our staff for putting together such an impactful event. I also had the honor of speaking at several events over last month. Potomac High School had a Black History program. I was there alongside Delegate King, Supervisor Bailey, and our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. McDade. They had a theme, the kids, of asking questions around diversity, equity, and inclusion. And it was reinforcing to our youth that their differences are to be celebrated and appreciated and accepted. And so it was a powerful moment, and I'm proud to see our students are really embracing the strength that comes from not being segregated, but being diverse and being together. In addition, Forest Park last week had a multicultural event at their school. And let me say, at this rate, I think that I spent more time in schools without my kids than I did when my kids were actually in school. But in all seriousness, events like these really highlight the rich cultural fabric in our community. And it was great to see so many young people embracing and shaping their heritage. Last month, as Councilman Young said, we had the privilege to represent Dumfries on Capitol Hill at the Black History Commonwealth Coffee event with both our U.S. senators, members of our congressional delegation, including our very own Congressman Eugene Vindman. One of the key takeaways from the meeting from me is that we can and we should continue to put pressure on the administration because they will listen to our needs when we put pressure on them. And so many of you have also reached out in the community asking, what are we doing to support our residents, doing all of the federal workforce reduction and actions? I want you to be clear, we hear you. While we continue to advocate at every level of government for you, I want to ensure our residents that we're aware, and I want to make you also aware that Prince William County, of which we are part of, most of us, we pay them double taxes, they've created a dedicated website with resources to help everybody that's affected. I want to encourage you to go visit the page and take advantage of whatever assistance and share it to those you know who've been laid off. The research page provided by Prince William County Office of Communications and Engagement. It's titled Resources for Residents Impacted by Federal Workforce Actions. Now, I know that's a mouthpiece and most of y'all won't do it. And since the website is quite long, I'm going to ask the town staff to add this link kind of to our website so people can come right to it and to share it through the town app so that you all have it to ensure it has easy access for everyone who needs resources so we can make sure that people are getting the help they're needed in this time. As far as community growth and business development, February marked another great milestone for our town. We had a ribbon cutting ceremony for our new 24-hour Dumfries Workout Anytime Gym. There was, health and wellness is one of the top priorities for us in this community, and having this new facility is another step towards making Dumfries a healthier community. I can personally say that there are a few of us on this dais who have already started working out there. I think we're kind of like in a competition already. So if you see us in the gym, don't be surprised. This past week, along with Councilwoman Peterson, we did Read Across America. We read the second and third grade students, and shout out for Councilwoman Peterson for being a part. She reached out and said, I want to be a part this year, and came along to visit the school. Big thanks also to our public information officer for setting me up to go speak to some kindergarten through fifth grade students. Talk to them about what it means to be a mayor. And let me tell you, if you want to learn anything about patience, spend a day in an elementary school cafeteria with every 10 minutes, you got a new group of about 10 or 15 little kids coming, and you got to be able to tell. Yeah, shout out Coach Capri, I know you were there too. And It was a great experience. I love engaging, with our students, and they're the future leaders, and just to be able to see them, and them to be able to see what a mayor is, and to be able to have a mayor come and visit, because I ain't gonna lie, I was like, why am I in this school right now? But shout out to our PIO for getting me over there. That was a great experience. Potomac High School was, their program was great. We talked about that. And then looking ahead this month, we're celebrating, as you know, Women's History all month. Tonight, we recognize two great organizations. And I love the remarks about, what it means to be seen for your service. And, the work is one thing, but when somebody sees you and acknowledges your work is another. So it's our pleasure and our deep joy to recognize the people in the community that's doing the work that impacting this community, because we can't do this work alone. This work that we're doing, it takes a community, it takes a village. So thank you. Later this month, we're also going to focus on the nutrition awareness this month, because nutrition is a part of health, and it ties into our commitment as a healthy eating, active living, or a healed community. And so in closing tonight, I always like to leave you with some food for thought. I want to tell you that nothing in life is permanent, right? Every season changes. And to our federal workforce out there who is feeling the weight of uncertainty right now, I want to encourage you that this is just a season. All you got to do is outlast it. If you ain't like the winter, you ain't throw your winter clothes away, because you knew summer and spring was coming right around the corner. So I want you to know that it's going to pass, and we're going to get through it together. Dumfries is here for you, and we're going to continue to support and advocate for you on every single level of government. So thank you, and let's continue to move Dumfries forward towards our vision. All right, with that said, Madam Clerk, are we ready for the next presentation? Oh, but she's not here yet. So we're not ready for the next two. Okay. All right. So we'll hear from first a quick presentation from the Potomac Heritage National Scenic Trail Study. Now, each one of these presentations are going to be rapid fire. We're going to put a 5-minute clock up here. All our presenters is going to do about 5 minutes, and then the council may have a few questions for them. Right? So it'll be rapid fire presentations. Thank you, ladies, for coming out. God bless you.
Honorable Mayor, Chair Pro Tem, and members of council, the Potomac Heritage National Scenic Trail, or PHNST, is a congressionally designated trail network which runs from the mouth of the Potomac River in Maryland and Virginia to the Allegheny Highlands in western Pennsylvania. Let's see. Okay. It is 833 miles of existing trails, 91 miles of planned trails, and it totals 924 miles. Prince William County Parks and Recreation has engaged with a consultant to complete a trail feasibility study, and the study supports the National Park Service goal of closing gaps in the trail network to allow continuous access and enjoyment of the trail by visitors and residents alike. The study will identify a planned alignment for each gap area. And project purpose and need include access and mobility, health, safety, and quality of life, and economic benefits. So Gap Area 2 has been identified in the town of Dumfries, and it connects Main Street to Prince William Forest Park. The boundaries of the Gap Area 2 include I-95, Quantico Creek, Main Street, Duke, and Washington Streets. Challenges to be addressed include aligning with existing town of Dumfries plans, serving community amenities in the town of Dumfries, and connecting to other trails. The consultants identified 3 alternative alignments for each gap area, screened each of the alternatives, identified alternatives that passed the screening, reported on results, and will provide a preferred alternative. This is alternative alignment 2.1, and it directly serves community facilities, including Merchant Park, Weems Botts Museum, Dumfries Elementary School. It is located on the streets with lower traffic volumes, Duke and Cameron Streets, and it is on the south side of Batestown Road under I-95, on the east side of Van Buren Road, and includes a separate trail bridge adjacent to Van Buren Road over Quantico Creek and connects to future trails in the Prince William Forest Park. Alignment 2 follows Main Street and Batestown Road, is on the north side of Batestown Road, east of Cameron Street, and the south side of Batestown Road under I-95. It is on the east side of Van Buren as well and includes a separate bridge, trail bridge as well, and connects to future trails in the Prince William Forest Park. And then alternative alignment 3 follows Main Street to the Quantico Creek and follows the south side of Quantico Creek until it gets to I-95 and Van Buren Road. It is on the east side of Van Buren Road and connects to future trails in Prince William Forest Park. So again, the project purpose and needs were the primary screening criteria, and they include access and mobility, health, safety, and quality of life, and economic benefits. So in the screening process, environmental impacts, right-of-way requirements, safety, and cost of construction were considered. And alternative 2.1 was the alternative that was identified by the consultant as the preferred alternative to meet the purpose and need while also balancing overall impacts and costs. The trail's shared use paths are designed as a 10-foot wide path for pedestrians and bikes. Construction is funding dependent. The Potomac Heritage National Scenic Trail has been in development for over 20 years. And the schedule for the feasibility study includes on the 20th of February, there was a presentation to stakeholders. This evening, we're having the presentation with the Town Council. There will be a presentation to the Planning Commission next week. And the final study will be the end of March. This evening, we'd like to entertain any comments that you would have. And if you would like to share additional comments, please feel free to send them via email to the clerk and copy the town manager.
All right. Council, any questions on that presentation? Well done, Mr. Tabor.
Thank you.
You set the bar real high for all of those coming behind you. Listen, I didn't see any costs associated. Is that just because this is the study and the path? Is the Potomac Heritage going to, once we start this, we'll be able to get a timeline and who's paying for it?
Yes, and costs and funding will have to be identified.
Okay, because I know my CFO sitting back there nervous. He pinching his pennies. Okay, that was all my questions. All right, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
For everybody watching now, the bar is high. All right, next presentation is on the budget calendar presentation by our CFO, Mr. Curtis. Come on down.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Chair Pro Tem, Town Council, Town Manager. Before you tonight, I will review the budget calendar for the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget adoption. I think it's how that works. Today is March 4th, and the council will be hearing requests from funding from various nonprofit organizations. We're coming to you today to ask for funding. As you can see, on March 7th, the council is scheduled to have meetings with the town manager and CFO. On March 13th and 14th, We will have community budget meetings and where the town manager and the CFO will present the budget to the community and address any community concerns regarding the budget. On March 18th, the fiscal year 2025-2026 proposed budget will be presented to the public and it will be in its first read. On April 1st, we will be finalizing the budget presentations. Also will be our second read, and we will put out a notice in the newspaper for the public, for budget public hearings. All of this is required by the Virginia Code for all municipalities. On April 15th, there's a schedule to be adoption of the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget for the ensuing fiscal year of starting July 1st to June 30th. The budget calendar can be adjusted at any time as the state code requires that we have a new budget adopted before July 1st, 2025, which is our new fiscal year. So I stand ready to address any questions that the council may have.
Councilman Fields.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the very, very brief presentation. And I'll have my questions very, very brief as well. Sir, I love the calendar that you have here. And I don't want to get in trouble by saying this, but if we stick to this calendar schedule and everything goes well, it may be the earliest or the most proficient that we've had in a while. Am I not mistaken by anyone? Okay, got some head nods and not this right here. So that only is a testament to the good work that you're doing and the rest of the staff and our town manager as well. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. We're looking good, we're presenting good, and we're going to be good for the future. So thank you.
Thank you, Council.
My question is, you have a little note there, maybe educate me, not really, but just humor me. What does it mean to have a flat tax rate? Does that mean that my bill is not going to change?
So typically a flat tax rate means that it's the same as the previous fiscal year and that potentially the taxes won't go up. So yes, potentially. But that's more, it depends on actually what is discussed. So there's a lot in there. And, but yes, potentially flat, meaning that it will be the same as previous years. There'll be no increase.
But if their home value went up, right, then you will have an increased bill.
Yes, because taxes are based off of the total assessed value of the home. Basically, what can you get for the house on the open market?
Yeah.
And then that's how your taxes are derived.
Yeah. So not necessary that your taxes won't change. The rate is going to change. So if your property value goes up, then you will have a slight increase, but we're not going to touch the rate. We're looking to advertise the rate as the same.
Correct.
All right. Got it. Just want to make sure that we don't confuse the public on that. Thank you. There are no further questions. And well done. Man, you set a new bar. All right, next is a budget presentation for the Dumfries Slave Cemetery. We're gonna have Mrs. Norma Fields representing my hometown.
Yes, while Mrs. Fields comes on up, I just wanted to say, before with the council, before you is a budget, a packet of information for council to review for the nonprofits and the request for funding. Dumfries Slave Cemetery budget last year was about $1,000. I believe the request this year is also $1,000. And Mrs. Fields can give you a little bit more information about that as well.
You're welcome. Good evening. I'm Norma Fields. I'm president of Friends of Dumfries Slave Cemetery. I want to thank Mayor Woods and the entire council and all of the citizens of Dumfries too for your support of the Slave Cemetery, your financial support, but also your physical support when you come out and actually get dirty and help us as we work to restore the cemetery and to reclaim the cemetery and to give the people buried there a dignity in death that they were denied in life. This community was built on slave labor. A large part of it was built on slave flesh, the slave trade. In the end, our slave ancestors received nothing for the work that they did here. At the end of the Civil War, the Confederate soldiers and Confederate widows were given pensions. Our slave ancestors were given nothing. Yet they had to pay taxes to support those pensions. What you give to us today, the finances and your physical labor, help us to give them that dignity in death that they were denied in life. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Chair Pro Tem.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to thank Ms. Fields and also Mr. Fields. I want to thank y'all for the work that you do with the slave cemetery and making sure that our ancestors are honored and that we don't forget the legacy that they left for us. So your work is very much appreciated. You're role models to all of us in the community, and I'm so proud to be able to get everything we possible. And we just are so grateful for you. Thank you.
Yeah, to add to that, just the work in discovering the slave cemetery, where it's at, and the work that you put into it over the last 10 years, and just restoring it to what it is, you know. I'm looking forward to seeing the day that you can build that nice fence around it and really put an honor. You know, a couple of years ago to see the historical marker go there. I can't wait to see us be able to put that fence up. But I know people in the community want to come together and put money to help support that. So thank you for your continued work and dedication to the slave cemetery. Yeah, we don't have a quote on that yet. So as soon as we get a quote on that, we will know what it costs to build that. 1,000 up.
We are going to build it with our hands. We're coming together to build it. Our labor is going to be like required.
Okay. Okay. Councilman Fields, did you have to?
The number of graves that are there.
Oh, we don't know that because his question was how many graves are there? And when slaves were put there, they didn't get headstones, right? So many of the slaves that were buried there, they were just like little rocks there as markers to identify there. And so sometimes when we go there and we do the cleaning, it disturbs a lot of the ground. And so we don't really know how many slaves are buried there. We just have on the record that it is a slave cemetery right there.
Didn't do the entire area. They just did a certain portion of it.
Thank you. I heard it was a number at one time, but that needed to be said as well, that we don't know. But it is there and the history behind it. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Our next presentations is from Divine Inspirations Incorporated.
You, Council, as she come forth. Last year, the request for Divine Inspirations was 10,000. This year, the request is 20,000.
Am I doing the presentation or my comment first?
Both. You got 3 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay, so presentation first? Okay. All right. Let me get to my together. All right. Good evening.
Good evening.
All right. Good evening, Mayor, council members, and esteemed members of the Dumfries community. My name is Caprice Piper, and I am honored to be here representing Divine Inspirations. We are a 501c3 not-for-profit dedicated to empowering youth through the arts, mentorship, and STEM education. For over a decade, we have served this community, and tonight I'm here to share how we can take that impact even further with your support.
Since 2009, Divine Inspirations has been actively involved in the town of Dumfries, bringing opportunities and enrichment to residents. You may have seen our students performing at the Garrison Park Festival, showcasing the talents of local youth through our performances and dance, music, and even spoken word. The annual Black History Month programs, providing the culturally enriching performances that celebrate our history, heritage, and diversity. Christmas tree lighting and the annual parades, spreading holiday cheer and community spirit through our student performances. Even our special events hosted by our council members, supporting town initiatives through performances and community engagement. Through these events, we have provided a platform for Dumfries youth to express themselves, building confidence and showcase their talents. But what we do goes far beyond performances. Our programs are about shaping the future of this town. While we have long been involved in town events, we believe there is an opportunity to expand our impact even further. We are here to propose a partnership with Dumfries Parks and Recreation to bring structured year-round programs in the arts, mentorship, and STEM directly into our community spaces. Imagine a future where Dumfries Parks and Recreation Centers becomes hubs for creativity and innovation, where children can attend free dance classes, theater workshops, and mentorship programs led by professionals, where STEM education is made accessible through hands-on robotics and coding workshops, giving our youth a competitive edge in the workforce. This partnership would open doors for so many young people, particularly those from underserved neighborhoods like Porter Dumfries and Williamstown. These programs will not just expose them to the arts, they will change their life trajectories, setting them on a path towards leadership and success. And I want to call out the fact that a lot of those students from Williamstown and Porter Dumfries, we've taken them from the communities and we put them on the floors at the House of Delegates, even right here in our very own town council meetings. We are not just asking for support. We are showing you a track record of impact. In the past, our program have done several things. One of those things is mentored over 50 Dumfries-based students, helping them develop leadership and career skills. We've engaged 30+ students in hands-on STEM workshops, preparing them for careers in high-demand fields. We provided scholarships for 15 or more Dumfries students, ensuring that financial hardship is never a barrier to participation. We've brought over 300 community members together for cultural performances, strengthening our town's sense of community. We know how to maximize funding to create real, measurable outcomes. With the town's investment, we will ensure that even more youth can access these life-changing opportunities. So beyond just education and enrichment, this initiative will bring long-term economic benefits to Dumfries, including workforce development, preparing students for careers in STEM, leadership and the arts, job creation, expanded employment opportunities for local instructors, mentors, and even event coordinators, boosting local businesses. Our events drive foot traffic to Dumfries, our restaurants, our vendors, and service providers, enhancing the town's appeal, making Dumfries a destination where families want to live and invest. When we invest in our youth, we invest in the future economic growth and stability of Dumfries. So our request today is for our funding is to expand access to programs, enhancing STEM offerings, supporting community performances, mentorship, and leadership development. In terms of measuring our success and ensuring accountability, we are committed to delivering measurable results, including growing student participation by 60+ youth, increasing engagement through our Parks and Rec partnership, helping students develop career skills for better economic mobility, providing detailed impact reports to ensure transparency and accountability.
Well, thank you for that thorough and detailed presentation. Councilman Fields.
First, I'd like to say I pity whoever's got to come behind you with that outstanding presentation.
Thank you.
The way that you emphasize the impact of Dumfries,
Yes.
several times I lost count how many times you referred the impact and the growth and success to Dumfries.
Our town. That's right.
That's right.
Our
Say it
town.
again, say it loud.
Our town.
Our town.
I've raised my children in this town. First home, so I want to see it grow. I want to win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I first came on council, I used to say live, work, play Dumfries because I worked in the town of Dumfries and I lived in the town of Dumfries and I play in the town of Dumfries.
Sir.
So that's it right there. Live, work, play Dumfries, and you did an outstanding job in your presentation. We see your work.
Thank you.
Time and time again. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well done. I mean, great presentation. Love the fact that you can bring measurable results, and the fact, as Councilman Fields say, you didn't make it about your organization. You made it about partnership and every one of our departments winning. So
Yes.
thank you. We have a lot to consider in our budget presentations coming up.
Yes. Could I do my community comment?
Oh, you're good. You're good. We got all the rest of the stuff we need. Oh, comment?
The community citizen, and you told me to wait.
Oh, the public okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, let's do my other notes. All right. All right, I'll make this quick. What I got, those 2 minutes?
Three, go ahead.
Okay, so, all right, I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you tonight regarding the rental rates for the Clyde Washington Jr. Recreation and Community Center. As a representative of a non-resident, non-for-profit organization, I want to highlight how these fees are not only unsustainable, but also counterproductive to the very mission that nonprofits serve within this community. Nonprofit organizations, particularly small ones like ours, operate on tight budgets with limited funding. We are driven by a commitment to serve, often filling gaps in social services, education, youth programs, and community engagement that would otherwise fall on the shoulders of the town government. Yet, when the cost to access a public facility is set at $130 per hour just to use an auditorium, it creates an enormous financial barrier that prevents us from providing essential services to the very residents of Dumfries who need them the most. Many of our programs directly benefit the town's youth, senior populations. We provide mentorship programs, educational workshops, and resources that uplift our community. Often at little to no cost to the residents themselves. However, if we are forced to allocate disproportionate amounts of our limited funds toward facility rental fees, it reduces the number of programs we can offer, limiting our impact and ultimately harming the very people we are trying to support. Put this into perspective. A single 4-hour event will essentially cost a $500 to $520 price tag that is simply unaffordable for many small nonprofits. Instead of putting these funds for scholarships, food assistance, or educational materials, we are now forced to choose between cutting programs or not serving the community at all. It is also important to recognize that Dumfries benefits when nonprofits are able to operate efficiently. We reduce burdens on town resources, contribute economic growth, and foster a stronger, more connected community. Rental rates are not just a challenge for nonprofits, they are a missed opportunity for Dumfries to collaborate with organizations that are already doing the work to enhance the town's well-being. So I urge the council to consider adjusting the rental fees for non-for-profit organizations, particularly those serving Dumfries residents, whether through a sliding scale, discounted rates, or a designated free use day. There are ways to ensure that these community spaces are truly accessible to those working to improve the town. Thank you for your time and consideration on this important topic. I hope we can work together to create a solution that supports both the sustainability of the community center and the invaluable work that nonprofits contribute to the town of Dumfries. Thank you all so much for your listening and your ears.
Thank you.
All right.
Town Clerk, I need to amend one of my comments. I said that it was the PIO who sent me to the elementary school. It was actually the Town Clerk who set that up and sent me to the elementary school to talk to those kids. So put that note in my in my comments in there. I just wanted, since we were back to comments, I just wanted to make sure I amended that. Going back to a presentation on a splash pad, Ms. Tar Minan. The floor is yours.
We apologize for keeping people waiting.
Okay.
You pass it to you, copies?
Yeah, just give it, pass it right here. Should get, okay, you doing? Okay.
Actually, if you don't mind giving me one, I can copy it myself.
And I know you're probably just coming in. We got a clock up here. We'll give you 5 minutes to get the presentation and then council will be able to kind of ask questions.
Thank you.
All right, we know the traffic was rough. Yeah. The floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. I was first introduced by one of your counselors here, and we're a company that does custom-built splash pads for communities like yours, municipalities. So we're the thing that's, can you hear us? Is my mic working? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
The thing about us is that we're a company that manufactures and goes straight to the installation. We do the whole turnkey operation, which has been very good for a lot of our clients. It allows us to give a much better value for the dollar. And when we install something for the community, we make sure it's done the right first time. So essentially, you know, I had just prepared a few ideas. I'm not sure actually what the parks are that you're planning. I've seen some of the parks, but I'm actually going to go and take a look and get some photos tomorrow. So this was just to give you some general ideas of the type of work we do. These are renders. I didn't put in photos, and I provided a number of different designs to try and meet some budgetary goals. And so, you know, I'm just going to run through these. The hard copy is here with all of your town members. All of our equipment we manufacture is 304L stainless steel. We powder coat it. The system operates with an activation device. Kids come out on the pad, they have to touch the activator. It's not a heavy water consumer. It's used as children are there and actually using it and touching it. It's run on sequences. We have a manifold control panel that manages the operation of the equipment. And then, you know, I'm not sure, there's three ways actually we can design these things. I highly recommend, unless you have a pool in the city, a recirculation system means a buried tank. And we've got to add more equipment very similar to a pool, a city pool, pumps, sand filters, chemicals. If there's any way that you can take water and put it back into a public treatment system, or you can repurpose it for the park, it's 100% no risk of any kind of contamination. Because a recirculation system is just like a commercial pool. You've got a lot of kids there. And, you know, even though we have automated systems that are continually testing the water, you still need to have actual physical people there checking and maintaining the pad. So it's a lot more expensive because essentially you're burying, you know, a good portion of the money. You don't see it. With a potable system, we have a, you know, standard sort of steel box that runs a manifold and a control panel. The water goes through its rotation sequencing and back down into the public water or into the stormwater system. So, you know, I know that many ways that we can design splash pads, it's all based on, you know, generally we try and show you things that would accommodate kids from little toddlers to older kids, different types of features that would be a little bit more interesting for older children. And, you know, it's, I don't know, is this something that anybody has actually used here in neighboring communities? Are you familiar with any place where you've actually had some pads? Yeah, so I actually lost a few, the printout that I gave you. That's essentially, I mean, I'm just here to show you and present some designs, some concept work. And, you know, if you have any questions about, the key questions people really want to know is, you know, safety and maintenance costs, and, you know, running the equipment. So the one thing about a splash pad that's very different from a pool is you actually don't need a lifeguard. That's the big benefit. Parents can come, the kids can play, and they can relax. And then, you know, there's no risk of any kind of drowning, no risk of any kind of injury. It's a lot of, I mean, they're just about every community. We're actually a Texas-based company, but we do installations all over the US. And so they're really popular. I mean, we have cities everywhere in Texas. And, you know, we're moving further east here. We're doing a lot of projects. So it's fairly generic what I've tried to show you, but those are the key factors. It's safe, it's water play with no risk of drowning. There's no risk that a child, because the way the system is designed, the splash pad is sloped, the concrete that sits on the top is sloped, the water goes down into the drains, and either we send it back to a tank where it's pumped back up to the system. Here I've just shown a couple of general ideas of some features. So I never really know what people want, but we can design things according to any particular budget you have in mind. And then it's also good to know, you know, generally how many children you're thinking you would like to, you know, be able to play on these pads. So I was told that maybe there were 2 parks. Is there any consensus about where you might want to put it? Has anybody?
So we'll get to the questions now.
Yeah.
Dan, from your council. Councilman Pete.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Ms. Tara, for the presentation. I know you said there's a lot of traffic out there.
I'm very sorry.
No, that's fine. We do understand what's going on 95 at the moment. They're currently almost out the way right now, but we understand what's out there. I want to say thank you for bringing this presentation here. After speaking with you sometime about this here, what I did notice last year, well, 2 years ago, I had concerns when it got real hot around here for our citizens.
Yeah.
And what I was doing was bringing water from our local store over there to the children of our community to give them water.
Yeah.
We then, as a council, moved on to adding a water fountain there, which we have there now, because the necessity for the water we know it gets very hot around here in the in Virginia itself, you know, not just in the town of Dumfries, but in Virginia. And there was also another, okay, we had the water fountain, but then still seeing that there's, you know, extremely hot days, the children needed something to do. The families needed a way to cool themselves down. We have a local pool here, but it's not within our jurisdiction here. But again, I want to thank you for bringing this here, because this is something that the community can use. Heck, I go over there and get cooled off sometimes myself, you know. I mean, just to measure that we have extremely hot days, and you know, this will be something beneficial for the town, and at the same time, we're not just standing inside all the time, because we try different measures and avenues to get our children out the house and off those video games, right? This is another way to get them outside and engaged while it's hot outside, and also to keep them cool. And again, it's safe and you don't need a lifeguard. So again, thank you for the presentation, Ms. Tara.
And just for you to know that when we do an installation like this, we generally also provide some seating around the park, around the splash pad. We put some canopies because you want to be out in the sun, but you also want to be able to sit in the shade. It becomes a big draw for families everywhere.
Oh, that's great to hear. Thank you again.
Thank you. And again, my apologies.
Wait a minute. Yeah, we might have more comments from the councilman. Yes.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you got 7 council members up here.
Okay. Yeah.
Councilman Young.
Yes, ma'am. Just a question. How deep is the tank buried?
Oh, we generally take it down about 4 feet. We've got to because the way that the splash pad runs, we're taking it down about 24 inches. We've got to run our pipes. We call it a stub out. We need city water with a 2-inch pipe, and we need low grade electrical, unless we're going really high end recirculation. So then we have the tank buried, And we have the water coming from the city main. It's put in a box if we're talking about a potable system. And then the water, we run the pipes that come underneath and we fit the features, the above ground features, the steel ones are inserted onto a 24-inch concrete base there, Jake. Buried into the ground. And then we've got to slope the pads when we put the concrete on at 5 inches, we have to be able to slope it so the water is running back down into the tank.
Gotcha. And quick question, I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off, I apologize. What would you say the average cost to maintain?
Very different depending on, if you're going for a recirculation system, by law, you're supposed to have somebody coming out there at least once to twice a day to check the levels, even though the levels are automated like a pool. So this is why I say to people, in the end, it's really not so green, the tank, because the tank, essentially, the water comes out, it splashes around, the kids carry it off. That tank evaporates to about a third every day. So you're refilling water every day. You're adding more chemicals every day. A potable system or a repurposing system by far is what is the best way to go. Zero risk of any contamination, very low maintenance requirements. You're only looking at, I don't know about water costs for you, but we can calculate, once we know what design we're producing, we can show you what the actual water usage is on average on a daily basis. And then overall, so for the 4 months or 5 months that the splash pad is actually running. So it's not nearly as expensive as people imagine it is. Of course, you've got the upfront cost of the splash pad and the features and the installation, but once you've got it in play, the maintenance costs are very low on a potable.
Thank you.
Okay, you want to say something before I ask a question?
I just wanted to make a comment for the statement. The purpose of this presentation is for information. The council has to make a decision as it relates to whether or not the project is moving forward. If they make the decision that this project is moving forward, we will have to do a competitive solicitation for the contractor that will develop it for the town.
Absolutely. Our standard procedure is.
And go back to the cost slide. I just want to.
Yes. So this was very rough. I'd shown Mr. Peets a few options. And if you have a budget, it's much better for us to be able to design something for you. If you say, I've got this much money to spend, tell me what you can do.
Okay, let me ask this question. So do you have any, is there any grants available for this?
Oh, yes. We work with a lot of, I don't know here in the state of Virginia, but there's a lot, we work with, in the majority of the grants that we get are actually federal funding. There's been infrastructure grants that have come forward for this that have been used. Community block development grants. Okay. There's many ways that you can find some federal funds. And then, I don't know, if you have an in-house grant writer, that helps enormously. And we generally work pretty closely with you on design if that's something that you want to do. And we're fully aware of the need to bid. We all of our projects, but we are actually a member of some cooperative purchasing national organizations across the U.S.
And then based on who keep changing from the money slide? Come on.
Oh, sorry. Well, yeah, I'm sorry, because you know what? This money slide, and I don't know what's happened to this funny. So when I said option A,
budget presentation.
It's, we've got to go back and let me just show everybody. So the option A was actually this first one. It was
I just got a simple question because it's square foot. So mine is just around.
Okay, so we were looking at about 2,000 square feet.
So no, you got 400, 800 square feet, right?
Well, there were different ones. Just give them some generic pricing. So I apologize. I didn't.
The pricing up there for 400 to 800 square feet.
Yes, and when I priced the large one at option C, I just threw out some generic designs because I never know what people like. So some of let me just go back and show you what would be closer to that kind of.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I just want to know how many square feet and looking at this and based on that, how many kids do you look at can play on that and not play on that? Because I just want to people to visualize these sizes, right? So if you look at a 10 by 10 pop-up tent, right?
That's a
10
very
times
small pack,
10,
yeah.
That's 100 square feet.
Yeah.
So you put 4 of those together, you get 400 square feet, because some people are visual.
Yeah,
right?
and that's why these
Yeah,
designs are
scale.
so important. It's
Right.
visual.
So you got 4 of those tents together for your small one, and then 8 for the large size
Mm-hmm.
up there. So 8 of those little pop-up tents you see at the sporting field,
Yeah.
right, equal 800 square feet. You know,
And I would definitely recommend, I mean, I don't know how many children you have in mind, and this is something that it's for us to know better to help you design for your bid.
Yeah.
We're very prepared to help you design.
and looking at the park and the space and having our Parks Department make their recommendation and our staff to come back. So we thank you for bringing us a presentation and showing these numbers. It's a little shock and awe for us, but thank you.
Well, we can, listen, I'll tell you that we often do splash pads in the $250,000 range. This is not unheard of. So, you know, we were talking about, there's many ways we can design, because if you look at some of the features that I put in there, it really depends on the type of features you select, or you tell us what you want to spend, and then we show you what we can provide at that price point. That's generally the best way to go.
That's good. Town manager.
Ms. Tara, we really appreciate your presentation. The council is not going to provide any additional information as it relates to the decisions at this time.
Oh, no, I understand. I fully understand. Thank you very much.
All right, next on our agenda is a presentation from Generation of Ballers, excuse me.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. As they're coming up, Generation Ballers, last year, the request was for 7,500. This year, the request is 9,500.
Say that one more time, because I wasn't writing, sorry.
No worries. Last year, the request was 7,500. This year, the request is for 9,500.
All right, town clerk. Okay, sir, the floor is yours.
Mayor, thank you, and the Vice Mayor and all of the council members. I kept hearing a statement that was made that is, and I want to thank Councilmember Fields, because I also caught that as well, partnering with the town of Dumfries. And that is what our organization really wants to do. And that is to partner with the town of Dumfries. We were prepared to go 10 minutes, but we're going to stay within these 5.
Thank you.
I'm trying to, okay, all right. Just briefly, I'm gonna have to use this. I got old quick, my eyes. I thought I could see that, but I have these cards. We are a year-round organization. And what we do, we provide a safe haven for the children. Instead of them to be out on the street, we have a safe haven for the kids in the town of Dumfries. That is our target area mainly. And what the organization is about, we try to provide physical, moral, and mental development. It's designed this way because if we are successful at teaching these kids life skills, what normally happens when these kids go off to college, a lot of times they will return back to the town that they grew up in. So not only does the child benefit from our program, the town of Dumfries will also benefit from it, because these kids will go away, they remember, hey, this is where I learned these life skills. They come back, talk to their children, they learn skills, and it is a great cycle for towns to, you talked about the business development. Well, these kids, they go to college, they get goals, we inspire them, and we use basketball as an avenue to attract the kids. So, and we again focus in the area here in the town of Dumfries. We push the children to try to set goals in life. How does this work here? Push what? Okay, this side. I think someone may have tried to sabotage me. But anyway, and we teach kids how to use these as well. We challenge them to win in life skills. You know, it's about life skills. It's not just about basketball. But we teach them conflict resolution, you know, how to get along, because these things will help them go further. Now, one of the main points that I really want to get to, this is what we challenge the kids to do. Set goals in life. Win in life, because again, they'll go off to college, they'll be successful, and they'll come back here to the town of Dumfries, open up businesses, raise families in the general area, and it is just a good cycle where we can teach the kids. Now, I want to get to some of the main points. We are committed to our players. The coaches are committed, the parents are committed. Everything that we do is focused around the children. We have a lot of children in the organization that are raised by single parents. We have a safe haven for these children. They can come, we provide mentorship with the children, not just basketball. So that is what the funds that you have provided have allowed our organization to do, is to continue to exist, where we can continue to mentor these children and to find a safe place for them to learn life skills and to be successful in life. So everything that you have blessed us with, we put into the children. And in a nutshell, that is what we really want to do. We go to the park here and we really try to recruit the children that play right in the park, right in the town of Dumfries. That's our target area. And we would love to continue to partner with you to find a safe haven for these children to learn more than just basketball. Basketball is what we use to attract the children. Are there any questions?
It's a good segue. Thank you. Well done. All right, council.
Yeah, I have a question.
Councilman Young.
Thank you, sir. Question for you, sir. Currently in the town of Dumfries, how many kids here you normally have?
Right now, 3/4 of our children are from the town of Dumfries.
You say 3/4 is far.
Well, we have 15 children. Right about now, I would say with one, we do such a good job with the kids, other teams come and try to steal them. The last day, no, honestly, what we have right now, out of the 15 children, if the other young man comes back, we will have 11 children from the town of Dumfries. That's our target area.
And currently, as far as any type of programs or things in which you mentioned that you say your organization does, is it currently taking place right now in the town of Dumfries?
We practice, that is one of the challenges, council member, is to find affordable places to practice. That's one of the biggest challenges that we have. And, prayerfully, if you have in the plans to build a gymnasium, we would love to partner with you there, but we don't, the actual basketball courts that you have here, we try to respect some of the other teams that's out there playing. So if we show up to practice and there's other kids that are there, we really do not take over the court. We'll allow the children, even though they don't play on our team, we just try to, have everybody try to work together. But on school nights, it's kind of difficult to wait for 15 kids to wait for the other kids. So we try to practice here. But a lot of times, we have adults out there that are playing, other teenagers that are playing. So it's not, when we teach kids, like one of them, conflict resolution, we teach the children. We don't just go and just take over a court. Why? These children that are playing, they live in the town of Dumfries also. So we'll get in a car, drive around until we find a suitable place to practice. hopefully I answered your question, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Councilman Pete.
Thank you for the quick, brief presentation. I know a lot of the presenters have to format their 10 minutes into 5, and we're going to be moving through it pretty quickly. But if you could go back to that, I seen on the background, go back to right there.
Yes, sir.
That Boo Williams Sports Center right there. Did you guys play there?
Yes, we did, sir. We actually had to drive there. That was a tournament. It cost to get in those tournaments. You know, the actual uniforms that the young men are wearing, that's one of the challenges because, as we say, what the contributions that you have been so gracious to actually give us, again, a lot of the young men that you see in that picture come from single parents. And we like to make them feel that they are a part of it. So the contributions that you give, it really offsets it. Like we were able to take the children to the AAU championship down in Florida. If it had not been for the contributions that this council gave us, the children would not have been able to go. Some of them had never even traveled that far. So they was exposed to a lot of different things. And you ought to saw those kids. They stood up, you know, representing the town of Dumfries. They really enjoyed the parade too. They were able to put their uniforms on. They were, I mean, we watched how they act in practice. But when you allowed them to march in the parade, it gave them a sense of belonging to something.
Oh, you're speaking of our Christmas parade?
Yes, sir.
Okay, understanding that. The when you say Florida, is that, because I'm pretty familiar with the AAU circuit, is that the nationals that you guys went to?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Understanding that, that's big right there.
Yeah, and your money helped that.
We will hope that you guys stay committed to these young men. As I've watched several young men through AAU basketball, me personally being a 14-year AAU coach myself at the time, a lot of children ask, when you gonna get back into coaches? I'm not. I'm not. I've done my time now, and I've found out another avenue where I can help out more kids, and that's my target as far as recreational and things like that go. So I really want to say thank you all for being committed, and just it takes a lot of time to do that. Coaches don't get paid for that. I remember, I'm working in the barbershop. I used to have to miss out on $700 to $800 per week just to go and do this for these children. So I want to say thank you guys for being committed at what you do. It's challenging, but in a second they'll graduate. So just be patient. And again, thank you. Thank you for your presentation.
Yeah, man, I give one success story. We had a young man who, when he came to us, he used to, we would notice that during playing, he would just stop and just like pull his hair. And we found out that this young man's father had passed away, and he didn't have a dad. So he would gravitate towards the coaches. This organization is not just about basketball. That is just the avenue that we use to attract the kids. And that young man now, he is doing great. And it is because of your contributions that keep us alive. So thank you. Thank you.
Councilman Fields.
I'll make it very quick. Your enthusiasm as you're giving your presentation is outstanding and wonderful. And if you made me think about the old song back in the day from Curtis Blow. We're playing, but no, I ain't gonna sing. We're playing basketball. And I even looked up the lyrics real quick. They're playing basketball. We love that basketball. I like the way they dribble up and down the court. They're playing basketball. We love that basketball. So the passion that you give, I just know that you're passing that on to the children.
Yes, sir.
And you know, hey, teach them that song. One more thing, bro. Go ahead.
I'll come, let me get my comments and thank you. Thank you for your passion and your gift of what you give for these young people. I just want to dive down into, because this is ultimately for us, it's a budget presentation.
Yes, sir.
We got to make some budget decisions. And so, what is the, when you look at the expenses, do you have like an estimate of what it costs you per kid to go through this? And yeah, there we go.
We have,
And then that was the most important thing in the
towards
slides.
Well, we can, our
you
team manager, all of these, Mr. Mario, he broke down, how much per kid if we were to break that down, sir?
Mayor.
Yes.
And,
And come in so we can see you. We got people watching at home.
I presented because I'm better looking.
I had him present because I'm been beat up. You know, I put my blood and sweat in this team, working 3 o'clock in the morning on these slides, and this is third job, you know, father, husband, and then I go to work and stuff like that. So, you know, I put as much as I can. It's not broken down by the individual. I broke it down on last year how we used our expenses. Our biggest cost is the facilities. We rent through Prince William County schools, and their prices have gone up as well. They charge us, we do 2 hours. They charge us 2.5, you know, for cleanup afterwards. And if you can see in one of the slides, it was over $8,000 we spent just on, you know, the facilities. So partnering up with something to have a gym, I mean, like he said, we're year round. So if we're not indoor, we're outdoor to try to cut some costs. We've driven in neighborhoods.
This is good information to know. That's why I need to know what these expenses. Second thing is, what else do you all do to raise funds?
Raise funds. Last year we did a fundraiser. We actually raised over 10,000. But
the kids participated.
The kids, they did. They were able to. We did this fundraiser that the kids were able to go out and basically explain who we are, you know, what we've done, and they were able to get people within the community, families, schools, and everything to raise money. Yeah. But even that was hardship because the people we partnered with, they took 20%. So, you know, we raised over 10, but we got less.
Gave up too.
You know, and what else did we?
Mayor, we make sure, I'm glad that you asked the question, do the kids participate? That is part of the life skills.
Yes. Yeah.
We check report cards, we talk with parents, how's this young man doing at home? If you're giving your mother some problems.
They run.
If you're giving your mom problems, you're gonna run and then you still may not play.
Good.
Again, basketball is just the avenue to attract them.
Good. No, this is all good. And so I like the word you started your presentation out, partnerships. And I think there are a lot of organizations in here, as well as our Parks Department, the Boys and Girls. So we see a lot of good overlap and great opportunities for partnership. There's a couple more presentations coming behind. And I definitely want to see how all of this can be congruent, because we have a lot of nonprofits that are all sometimes doing the exact same thing. And there's an opportunity for some overlap because, you know, and people working together in collaboration. And so thank you for your detailed presentation. We'll go through and look through all your numbers and your stuff. Councilman Pete want to say something else to you, and then we will get on to the.
This was more so, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And guys, thank you for your presentation. And again, please continue your hard work with our youth. This is more so for the town manager and our department. Can we get with the I see we have Nova here also, and then we have the generational ballers. Can we get with them and include that into our town of Dumfries versus the community basketball tournament to where we can maybe possibly have at their age group a single game, and then at what age groups you guys have?
Right now, they are in the sixth grade.
Okay, at the sixth grade level, a one game, something small like that. You guys gonna see we have a lot of fun with this event here. I think it can actually just with timing, it can just be installed and take care of itself because it's just a couple minutes of the event included, and then our finale will be the community versus the town of Dumfries Police Department on that day.
Yes, sir.
Again, thank you guys for your presentation.
Any more questions?
No.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we're gonna
For
actually.
letting us permit, come. Thank you.
Absolutely. I actually got to let my council take a 5-minute stretch break. So give me 1 second. We're gonna go 5-minute recess.
Bye.
All right, Evan, you ready? All right. Next on our agenda is a presentation from Nova United. Ms. Curtis.
It's a new organization asking for a new request. So their new request is for 2,500.
Hey, good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Welcome.
To the mayor, to the town council, to all of you here. Famous, come on up with us. Just real brief. I think the last gentleman did a lot of our heavy lifting for us because I think we were pretty much do some of the same things. So just get the slide thing quick here. My name is Rodney Cathcart. This is Gordon Bryant. We're the co-founders of Nova United, and we brought Famous Johnson along with us, who's one of our players this evening. So just real quick about who we are. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We started up in 2020 in the Prince William County area, and my program has really grown over the years. We have 11 coaches, about 70 players, and we've grown. We started out with one team. Now we've expanded to 7 teams. 4 boys and 3 girls teams, and those are our ages, 5th grade up until the 11th grade. Some of our goals and objectives: we want to grow our program. We want to tap into the community. We want to get out and help these kids, just like the gentleman said before, help these kids be, grow up and be successful through the vehicle of basketball. And, provide a safe environment for them to embrace mistakes, foster confidence, and to help the parents pay for college. That's the ultimate goal for AAU, help these parents pay for college. So some of our challenges: gym space. Last year, we spent over $13,000 in gym fees. A lot of money. Tournament entry fees. We paid $26,000 for tournaments. We travel up and down the East Coast. A lot of exposure for these kids. We had $7,000 in uniform costs. We spent about close to $50,000 in our fees. So we do put a cost on the players, but when you look at the expansion of our program, $800 per player is just not enough to cover all of the fees and everything that we have that these facilities are charging us. And we also have the volunteer coaches. And just like the gentleman said, when you coach for a while, we don't pay the coaches. So they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart. So our request is $2,500. And I'll just be direct. That request will be to cover for gym space. And last year we used Potomac Shores. We've already been approved this year to use Grand Park as one of our middle school facilities, but of course it's not free. So, your funds, your contribution would definitely help us offset those costs over there for that facility. And just as point of record, we have about 50 players in the organization. 20% are Dumfries residents. So we just would appreciate any support that we can get.
Great.
For your questions.
Council, any questions? It's good. I just want to ask, I know everybody looks at Prince William County, but has anybody cost out the Boys and Girls Club in their gym?
Yes, so thank you for having us. Yes, we've priced them out, and we were told that it would be $400 per hour just to use their main gym, not even the other gym that they have. So
You talking about on Dale Boulevard?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Did you know we had one in Dumfries?
Yes, but I believe they're affiliates. So one, you're going to pay the price for one, you're going to likely pay the price for the other. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Y'all's was pretty easy. You got all the details up there. Was considered. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilman Pete.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, guys, I want to say thank you all for what you do, and I ask that you all stay committed and continue to install in these young men of the reason I believe I know that you guys are there for. Like I said, I've CEO, operator, owned, and coached myself, my own team. I didn't even trust any other coaches, and I had 3 teams. I just, if you wasn't dedicated and committed, you couldn't come deal with my kids. Not at all. I'm real big on that. Quick example, I've seen Famous, you might can run with this. It's a little bullet for you. I've seen, and when you said something about helping the kids get to college and using that as an avenue to help them pay for college because we have single parents, you know, as you mentioned before in the previous presentation. There was a young man, mom passed away, dad passed away, granddad passed away. It was just him and his sister left, and the auntie and uncle in Winchester that helped him out. A weekend before that, coach, this your son. You going to the private school? You're going. And I'm like, oh, she passed away on Sunday, Monday, something like that. And I'm like, wait a minute. Her last words to me were, "This your kid." And so I ran with that, and the kid was able to, you know, stand on him, like you said, with grades and everything. He actually got a basketball scholarship. It paid for his college degree. The kid is now at the FBI headquarters right around the corner here with a $100,000 job partway to AAU basketball. So again, I want to say advise you guys and challenge you guys to stay committed to our youth, sirs. Yes. Thank you again. Famous, keep being famous, sir.
Thank you for your presentation. Well done.
Thanks, Mayor.
All right, next on our agenda is the Future Kings presentation.
Yes, thank you, council. Last year, Future Kings received $10,000. This year, the request is also $10,000.
All right. All right, your time is up, Dr. King. No, no, go ahead.
If you don't mind, before I get started, there's two things I would like to say. They are not part of my presentation. Number one is I agree with everything that Divine Inspiration said. We got $10,000 last year, but we used almost 1,000 of that just to rent the Carver Center, the Clyde Washington Recreation Center, what we call a Recreation Center. So we could have done something else if we hadn't had the rent center. That was one thing. The second thing is I'd like to take issue with Nova United, because Famous is not here with them. He's here with us. So, Famous, do you mind standing up for a minute?
From Future King. He's a twitch shirt.
Okay. So, if you don't mind, just another off-track remark. Famous, will you just tell the council something about your time with Future Kings, and we have maybe 1 minute of my 5 minutes we could use.
Okay, so my time at Future Kings, it taught me a lot. It taught me like some of the jobs I can get that I don't even have to go to college for. I learned that I can go and get 6-figure jobs and some STEM educated jobs that I would actually have an interest of doing. I don't have to go to college for that. It also gave me some opportunities to do internships when I become of age to do so. That could also set me on course to get those 6-figure jobs that I don't have to go to college for. So that's one of the things that Future Kings helps my peers and my group with, takes us on track for the rest of our lives so we can be, set to have a good way of income for when we do want to get jobs.
You can sit down, sir. Yeah. Okay, so with that, I'm ready to start my presentation.
The floor is still yours.
Okay. I'd like to emphasize one of the points that the mayor made about having the community stay engaged with the town. And the youth programs are one of the most powerful tools we can have to have the community be engaged in the town. And so ours is another one of the youth programs that we're talking about here today. What we want to do is continue our collaboration with the town of Dumfries. For those you don't know, that our headquarters is right here in the building on the 3rd floor. So we've already made a commitment, and we expect to do more. So briefly stated, Future Kings are a multi-campus vocational school teaching college-level technology to adolescents in secondary school. And we target adolescent boys of color of economically challenged households who are from these underserved communities. Everyone is not economically challenged, but our target is. So Williamstown here in Dumfries represents a target-rich environment for what we're trying to do. And so engineering great futures for us is teaching advanced level, college level STEM topics to adolescents, especially boys, who are in grades 6 to 12. And those topic areas are listed: biomedical sciences, cybersecurity, drone engineering, computer game design. Those are all technical skills. But in addition to that, we have those other supplemental skills which are meant to be wrapped around and then prepare our participants for life after high school, so that our participants have been trained to have a competitive advantage over their peers when they graduate from high school. And that training involves both technical and soft skills, and then the third leg is actually work experience, real world experience in real jobs. So for the last couple of years, we've been developing a collaboration with the town of Dumfries. And that collaboration really has at its core the goals of closing the diversity gap and the opportunities gap for youth in the city of, the youth in the town of Dumfries. Okay, by training these amount of youth in STEM, we'll be enhancing the area's economic mobility, as well as the various residents here. And as the mayor said, there is some overlap with others that we could easily work with.
All right, do you have a money slide?
No money slide.
Oh, no money slide.
No money slide, okay. But this is an example of something we did with the town of Dumfries money that we then had to pay the town in order to do it. So there may be some logic there, but we are hoping we could change the logic. It doesn't seem that we're on the same page when you give us money and then you have us give it right back to you. Maybe that's an accounting requirement.
Okay.
We've had conversations recently.
Hold on, Dr. King, I think some people up here might have some questions or some comments. We good? No, you had any questions? We finished?
I'll ask the question when the time is right.
Okay, yeah, we were.
Oh, so that's the hook. I need to stop now, right?
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I'm a little slow.
All right, Councilman Pete.
Yes, how many members do you have in the, not from the town, I'm not there. I just want to know how many members do you have in the organization itself?
We are like a multi-campus vocational school. So in the Northern Virginia area, we've got 100 students in our program.
Okay, perfect.
Outside of Northern Virginia, we have students in Jackson, Mississippi and Vicksburg, Mississippi.
Okay, all right, thank you. Do you work with the schools here too, or that's outside after school programs?
We have a business partnership with Prince William County Schools, and that means that they do some stuff for us, and we do some things with them. But it's not a paid collaboration. It's more of an in-kind collaboration.
Okay, as I'm listening to all these presentations, I'm hearing some room for collaboration going on here. But again, thank you for the presentation, sir.
Thank you for being a good tenant in our building for the last couple of years. We do appreciate that. And, the work that you're doing I know you do a huge fundraising event every year to raise your own funds from annual gala. Right, which is good to have the kids out there doing the ads and to really get to showcase a lot of the kids in the work. And also the STEM Academy that you just featured up there. What was it called again? I'm sorry. the day over at the community center?
Oh, yeah, it was a esports and STEM carnival.
Yeah, esports and STEM carnival. It brought people from all over DC, Maryland, and Virginia. So people came down from Maryland STEM programs, esports. The drones were flying in there indoors, right? The kids were in there competing on esports, like the Madden. They were like real Madden tournaments going on, and there was people in there virtually flying helicopters. I think this was the day after we had a helicopter crash too. The kids are in there virtually flying helicopters and doing that. So it's an amazing work you're doing in the areas of STEM, and so we appreciate your partnership. We got your funding request, and we will consider that when we continue our budget conversation. Thank you for your presentation.
You're welcome.
Next on our agenda is the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Washington, more specifically, the Dumfries General Heiser Club.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Council, last year, this organization requested $20,000. This year, the request is also $20,000.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you again for having us and allowing us to have this platform to talk about the wonderful work that we're doing at the Heiser Club. I wanted to really quickly introduce myself, Nadia Peterson. I'm the Senior Regional Director of Operations for the Virginia Clubs. And to my right is, go ahead, Dr. King.
Simon King. I'm Area Director, Boys and Girls Club, Prince William County Region.
Dr. Simon King, he's humble. And of course, we have Judy Moore, who is the branch director at our Heiser Club. So I really wanted to really quickly just walk you through our mission because it's really important and it really highlights what we do on a day-to-day basis with our young people. Greater Washington mission is to help boys and girls of all backgrounds, especially those who need us the most, build confidence, develop character, and acquire the skills needed to become productive and civic-minded, responsible adults. So we ensure that there is constant effort behind our mission. Really quickly, I wanted to share with you just a little bit of what we were able to do with the town funding coming up. But like I said earlier, we're really grateful for this partnership. It really allows for us to offer the town of Dumfries members specifically a lot of more opportunities that essentially I think they would not be able to be afforded. So really quickly, just to run you through a couple of full annual scholarships we were able to provide town of Dumfries kids members only is our license before and after care program. We provide before and after care for members whose parents have to go into work early and either stay late as well. So we were able to give three members that care for the entirety of the calendar year, as well as summer camp. Summer camp runs 10 weeks for our clubs in Prince William County, to include the Heiser Club. Generally, that price point is $150 per week. So we were able to give 13 members the entirety of that camp. This is also inclusive, for winter and spring break camp as well that we see that's coming up, and then also during our winter season. We also run a volleyball and basketball sports leagues. So we were able to scholarship 5 members for the different seasons throughout the year in which they were participating in. And in general, just 32 members altogether that were a service from the town of Dumfries. Oops. I also wanted to really quickly highlight some of the funding that we use to upgrade our facility. Our teen room, we had a wonderful renovation where we were able to get new furniture, painting as well, and I think most importantly, able to get some volunteers to help, facilitate the needs of that. If you are able to take a look at our facility, we have made major improvements. Still so many to go, but definitely moving in the right direction inside to make sure that we're providing the best facilities for our youth. Also, just wanted to highlight a couple of the game room pictures that we were able to update. Again, really stripping the walls. There was a lot of holes in the walls as well last year, so we were able to really caulk those, make them presentable for our young people to really enjoy the space. As you can see, there's a lot more brighter colors. The bottom right picture is a before picture. So as you can see, the colors are really indicative of the fact that we have younger folks in our building, and it's a more welcoming space for them. Just really quickly, wanted to focus on the 5 pillars that we ensure that all of our programming has. We want to create a safe and positive environment. That's not only physical safety, but also emotional safety. We want to generate fun and foster a sense of belonging for all of our young folks, and encourage supportive relationship with peers and adults, ensuring that we're lining them up with appropriate mentors, whether that be our staff folks or bringing other mentors out as well. We want them to provide opportunities and set expectations, and of course, recognize positive behavior. And I'm going to skip this slide because of time, because I want to really talk about this this partnership that we were able to open up for the town of Dumfries totally. That was a barbershop books, essentially. The kids got to receive free backpack and supplies. And this was open to the entire community come through. We had a pretty good turnout, about 50, 60 kids, I want to say. Everybody got a book bag. Micron was there as well. We did some hands-on STEM activities, as well as receiving haircuts for those kids, and it was right before school. So that was a great opportunity for our young people. I'm trying to watch that clock as well. So really quickly, just needs that we continue to have, and we want to ensure that we keep these front and center. Facility renovations and upgrades, this is something that we're continually working on. We actually are talking about a partnership with Amazon, who's looking to come in and do capital needs projects as well for our location to bring it up to higher speed and to look similar to our other Prince William County locations as well. Funding and sponsorships, that's always a given. Community partnerships, I think that's something that we've been really intentional about, ensuring that we are partnering with the local organizations and businesses to ensure that they know that we are here and serving the town of Dumfries. And of course, volunteer engagement and awareness and advocacy. Thank you for your time. Any questions?
Thank you. Was there Chair Pro Tem?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for the presentation. It's very informative, and also thank you for your commitment to the youth in Dumfries. I do have a question, not to put y'all on the spot or anything, but considering one of your tenets is community partnerships, we've heard from a couple of our basketball leagues this evening. Is there an opportunity to work with them in order so they can get used to that gym? Is there some kind of, sliding scale or,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Actually slipped cards to a few people. And just for the record, a rate is not $400 an hour. So I don't know where that is. Yeah. So we'll definitely work that out. Yes, absolutely. We're always looking to help other organizations as often we need help as well. So absolutely there is.
Okay. And I do have one.
To be specific, our gym is about approximately $130 per hour to rent.
Okay.
Yes. So that information, there may have been a different Boys and Girls Club, but not the Hydra Club.
Okay. I do have one more question. I do also kind of ask, do you have any programs targeted for children with developmental disabilities so that it's more inclusive? Because a lot of times, and I know we are always looking for resources, and kudos to the Amazon deal. That's a big deal. But how are we incorporating the environment so that it's a safe place for all kids and all members of the community?
That's actually a very good question, and that's something that we've been working on this past year. And I can share, we have actually onboarded, Boys and Girls of Greater Washington has onboarded a trauma-informed care representative, and she's actually doing a lot of trainings on how to deal and more so identify, because I think one of the challenges that we have at our club is that parents won't self-identify because they're afraid that, it'll block their enrollment or their application. So sometimes
I know.
Right.
Not so, Boys and Girls Club.
Right. Yeah. So it almost becomes where we have to, we're not clinical and anything, but we try to have to identify behaviors that would need additional support. So she has been instrumental in providing additional support to us, and kind of changing the way that we think, and, having trainings with us and really advising on how to give them the calm space, take a 10-second breather. We've also, what are they called? They called calming centers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, calming centers at each space as well. What are they called, Judy? They're calming corners. Yeah. So bean bags, light, dimly lit. So instead we're saying, okay, you're a little out of control, and say, hey, what's going on? Can we take a 10-minute breather? So these are all, new trainings that we're all going through as well. Right. So it's a very good question. We're getting there. We have work to do, but that's definitely been identified as an area for growth for us.
Also, I'd like to add that as a part of our application process, we've added a portion where parents can, they're not required to, to, but they can let us know because we feel that, because part of our mission statement is to serve those who need us the most. And if they let us know, they fill out a part of that packet indicating that their child has a 504 or an IEP, then that helps us be proactive. And so we have a detailed meeting scheduled, we schedule with them and so that we can assess or get to know more about their child so that we can better serve them.
Yeah, that's outstanding. So good job. That is outstanding. That's going to mean a lot to so many parents who are raising children with special needs and just have limited resources. So there's already a scarce in resources, and then we have even less. So that is outstanding. Thank you for the work you're doing.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Councilman Pete.
Thank you guys for that presentation. As we had some challenges in the wall last year over some conversations. Hey, Miss Judy. I want to say I'm very pleased with you all. This is my first time saying that to you, but I am. Miss Judy, you know me. We've dealt many years together, but from what I've seen over the last 2 years and to where you guys are at now, getting more involved with the children in their organizations now and seeing what, hearing it and all that. I'm very pleased to hear and see the difference that you guys are impacting on our town here. This presentation was awesome. It was awesome. You guys covered what you need to cover. The questions that I have, I don't have them no more. I just want to say thank you guys. And I'm going to challenge you even, no, I didn't know. I learned this at church. That's my deacon right there, Mr. King. And I looked across the pool. I was like, wait a minute, what? Didn't I just see you at our council meeting? You the one texting me in the morning with all the Bible quotes. Good. But Deacon King, I'm bad with names.
Nadia,
Miss Judy. I'm going to challenge you all to also stay committed to our youth.
absolutely.
Miss Judy, I know you in it. You have been in it for many years. Mr. King, I know you in it. I'm learning you, Nadia. Well, but I'm gonna be
16 years.
okay. Well, then you in it too. But again, thank you guys for what you do. Everyone, thank you all for what y'all do for our children. I am very big on the success that we as adults have to stay committed to drive our children where we would like for them to go. Yeah, hear that word, where we would like for them to go, right? But again, thank you. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Town manager.
Mayor and Town Council, the Vice Mayor had sent some remarks that she had wanted me to specifically read for the record. So in regards to the Boys and Girls Club, she asked that this question is addressed to the town attorney. If the council approves the $20,000, can we legally require these funds to be earmarked for specific purposes? And then there's a remark behind it. The Heiser Club in particular has long-lasting safety issues that have not been addressed, including damaged bleachers that led to her son getting hurt. Evidently, the organization has not prioritized equity across its locations, and she would like to ensure that if we allocate the funds, that they go directly towards necessary upgrades and safety improvements rather than being used for general operations.
Okay. Ms. Judy or Dr. King?
Is that for us to answer? Okay. Yes. So, right.
They can address the comment.
Okay.
So relative to the question, the answer is yes, you can put limitations on how your grant funds are used.
Okay. Thank you. I just want to say, I know you guys have a natural, first I wanted to say, please make sure you invite Councilman Pete to one of your board meetings because he's very excited about getting there. Maybe you send a direct invitation.
You got it.
And ensure he comes to a board meeting, so we get him in there. Also, I definitely seen an improvement in the slow changes over the years with the new hardwood floor coming in down there. The painting, I think those are certified Lego colors. Is that what it is?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
Yeah, which means those, tell me those colors, it's like Lego, you got to get licensed to get those paints and those colors. And so, to be able to get those colors and to be that. So we're definitely seeing the upgrades and excited about some of the other projects that you'll be announcing coming in April with the kids and some of the other renovation, facility upgrades. So anything else that y'all wanted to share remarks before you?
Although the question wasn't directed to me, I just wanted to speak on the behalf of, yes, absolutely, we can do that as well. If the, town of Dumfries would like to allocate to a certain, area, that's something that we can certainly discuss. We just appreciate the continued partnership.
Okay. But the scholarships are needed for the kids too, right? So,
Absolutely.
okay, we could discuss that. Thank you for your presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Next, and our final presentation of the night is we're going to bring up our very own Historic Dumfries.
Yes, Council Mayor. The Historic Dumfries, Virginia Incorporated last year received 23,000. This year, their request is for 73,000. You want 94? Yeah. Okay, plus 94,000 for repairs that they're also going to present as well and talk about.
Okay, thank you. Welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Do we have our presentation open?
Did you send the presentation?
Yes.
Okay, he doesn't have it, so you can roll. You have a copy then? Copy or something?
Yeah.
Okay, he's gonna roll.
All right. I just have a quick message from our new president, Christy Barkalow. She's out of the country tonight, so she asked me to read this for her. Good evening, Mayor Wood, council members and staff. My name is Christy Barkalow, and I'm the new president of Historic Dumfries VA Incorporated. I am very motivated in my new role as president and hope to continue the mission of HDVI that began in 1974. My absence this evening does not reflect my desire to be an active and present president of HDVI. My trip out of the country was planned well before I became president on February 13th when Patrick Thompson resigned. I have asked the site director of HDVI, Abigail Alm, to present and discuss the financial needs of HDVI for the coming year. I ask that you listen with mindfulness in the hopes that our needs will be met. The contributions of Dumfries that the people of Dumfries have made to the founding of our nation are at risk of being forgotten. Did you know Dumfries was a trading point for Native Americans long before the colonists arrived? George Washington isolated the town of Dumfries and inoculated soldiers for smallpox during the Revolutionary War. Dumfries town resident Mason Locke Weems's book, The Life of Washington, was a bestseller and second to only the Bible in national book sales for decades. Civil War soldiers were triaged in Merchant Park before being treated in Dumfries Hospital. Batestown, just down the road from us, emerged after the Revolutionary War as a community of former enslaved people and free African Americans. During World War II, the OSS spies were trained in Prince William Forest Park and practiced their skills in the town of Dumfries. Dumfries has so much history. It is our duty to identify, preserve, protect, and restore this history. Mayor Wood wants to make Dumfries a destination, a place that people go to not through, but to. I ask that you make learning about the history of Dumfries an important part of this destination. But lately, we've been focusing for the past year on programs, and we would really like to change gears to more getting into schools. We already offer free field trips to Prince William County Public Schools. And we would really appreciate any help that you could give us with that. We want to establish traveling trunks because it's not always easy for teachers to get out to do field trips. It's a lot easier to go to the schools. And as for the repairs, I don't have a copy of it on me, but I did have some. We do some of the money that Dumfries gives to us already is allocated for repairs, but it's currently not enough. We have some very expensive repairs that need to be done, like the electric box, the meter box in the historic house needs to be moved. We got a quote for that. It was like $23,000. Sorry. Handicap ramp. Oh, yes, and we wanted to put in a handicap ramp. That could be a few years down the road though, because we know that the meter box is a fire hazard at this point and it needs to be moved. But other than that, we need windows repaired, just sewage and whatnot, so. That was something that was asked of us last year at a meeting, but otherwise, other than that, the reason that we need this extra money is because the county has decided to stop funding us. So we are short $50,000 in our funding. We are currently trying to contact our contacts with the county and trying to get them to reevaluate, but as it stands now, we are facing that deficit.
Okay. All right, Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Abigail, for your presentation. I just want to say, like, the town has a special relationship with Historic Dumfries. We actually own that land. We own the building. And the partnership is a little different because they're really, it's an extension of the town. Although you have a separate board that's responsible for the governance and the policy, it is a partnership with the town. So level of responsibility is a little bit different on our end. So I do know that the board is really excited about revamping and rebranding and excited about this new leadership that you're under. I know that we had talked about a partnership with the school, Dumfries Elementary being right next door. Yeah. And I know you do some additional work in the community with community-based instructions with the high schools. Could you talk a little bit more about the plans for the future under this new vision and this new leadership about how we're going to expand and really get the citizens of the town incorporated in? Because again, Historic Dumfries is really an extension of the town of Dumfries and the town government.
Yes, and we definitely want to collaborate with the town more. I know that that's not something that's been done in the past few years at least, but we would like to kind of rework that partnership. But coming up, we have over the spring break for Prince William County, a archaeology day camp for teenagers. My background is in archaeology, so we're going to dig a proper trench and excavate in Merchant Park, which we have done that in the past with school field trips, and we found things. So it's something that's very important to me, and something that I'm really looking forward to.
Okay, well, just basically really looking forward to getting back on solid footing and rebuilding that relationship and really building a partnership because we're invested in each other's success. We're equally invested. So with that, I'll yield back, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Fields.
Yes, hey, thank you for the presentation that you read, and I like the direction or hearing the direction of new leadership. We used to have buses of people coming to view the museum. What happened to that?
I think a lot of that was kind of tied around the ghost stuff, which we've been trying to shy away from. We do the ghost tours every year, though. It's a good fundraiser. It's our best fundraiser. But also the house itself is very small. It's hard to fit. We could fit maybe 10, 12 people in at a time. So, which also makes field trips a little bit challenging because school groups are usually 20, 30 kids. So we usually have to break them up into groups, which that's also something that we've been workshopping, different activities that we can do. Mostly the activities that we've come up with are targeted for children, but we can come up with adult activities as well.
And one thing I mentioned, I don't know if it was last year or the year before last, the advertising. You know, what are we doing as far as advertising the Historic Dumfries and marketing to get more people in? Or do the repairs need to be done to facilitate more people first?
Some of the repairs we would really appreciate to be done sooner rather than later, like the meter box. I've been told it's a fire hazard by Dominion Energy. They keep trying to come out and replace it, but they can't touch it until it's outside of the house. It's currently in a closet.
So it's safe to say the requested funds could really enhance the facility and things that we need there. Therefore, it could bring more tourism to the area into the museum.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been also, we've come up with the idea to come up with a new display space because the house isn't up to Smithsonian standards, so we can't take loans or anything. So we've been thinking about perhaps putting in like a separate annex, like a kind of just like a big fancy shed almost.
It's for display purposes.
Yes, yeah, for displays, for programming, because our current facilities are quite small and it's hard to have more than 10, 15 people in them at a time in either house.
That seems very reasonable. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Pete.
I have some concerns here. I'm hearing at max you guys can only probably put out 11 at max that occupies that can occupy the building at one time.
In the historic house, yes, which is why we have to break it up for large tours.
So that leads me to ask, is there an estimated number of participants that come through that building per year annually?
Yes, I don't have that number on me, but let's see. November and December, we had about 30 people per month come on tours alone. That's pretty low for, I mean, well, this time of year it's normal, but generally in the spring and summer and fall, we have a lot more people.
All right, and now my concern now is from what was asked from the council last year to this point now. What were the marketing strategies or the advertisement strategies? Because we're looking for a significant increase on this, right? But during the duration of the 365, I don't see the foot traffic or the I don't see what gets us to want to look at the significant increase here. I do understand upgrading the building and things like that, but even if the building gets upgraded, that doesn't guarantee that we're going to max out the building every month or per month. So if we could work on some marketing strategies, something that looks like we should support this a little more than where we at now, I will be for that. But at the moment, I don't see the foot traffic. I like to see production. I like to see things moving forward. I like to see improvements and things like that. What I'm seeing now is what I'm hearing is I don't know what happened this last year with the historical dump. I see the numbers went down.
Yeah, and that's one of our problems is that we don't have a budget for advertising. That's something that I've been discussing with the board and that we will hopefully implement for next year because one of our problems is getting people in for programs. We come up with these wonderful programs in Children's Days and workshops, but it's difficult to get people through the door.
Understood. What was the ask for last year?
$23,000.
For last year, and there wasn't a slot for any marketing or advertising out of the 23?
No, 10,000 of that was allocated for capital improvement. And then the other 13 was for.
Okay, I mean, I'm listening, but I like the support, but when I'm not there, I'm not there yet, but I would like to support. But at the same time, I'm trying to make sure that the town of Dumfries get the bang for the buck, right? And if numbers have decreased and no improvement has been done, it leaves me curious. And then the act is not significant, but we don't have a concrete way of fulfilling this facility. There is no plan. I don't hear a plan. There is no plan to carry this facility out for another 365 days. So, I mean, that's just where I'm at. I would like to see it. I would like to support it, but at the same time, I like to see things in progress, see things moving. But when I'm around here a lot, and when I see the foot traffic has decreased and no improvements have been made, it leaves me with concerns. Okay, that's all. I yield, Mayor.
Town manager.
I'm going to ask a question for myself, and then I'll turn around and I'm just gonna read the vice mayor's statement. I just want to make sure I'm clear in regards to the spreadsheet. Is this your order of priority if the council would choose to fund it?
Yes.
Okay. And in regards to the vice mayor's statement, her statement was again directed at the town attorney, but I'm gonna turn it around because the town attorney already addressed it. Are y'all willing to provide us the detailed estimates that y'all referred to in your presentation?
Yes.
Okay, if you can do that as soon as possible, we appreciate it. We're going to deliberations with council at the end of the week.
All right.
Thank you.
My questions is around, I guess, the historical relationship, and I don't know if you have any other board members that might be around that can really address. You said 1974, this relationship between historic Dumfries and Dumfries was established, and where that land is. And I know your president, your new president, wasn't able to come. Do you have any other board members with you today?
Yes, we have Ms. Washington with us here.
And
Chair Pro Tem Miles.
so you two, can any of you talk to the relationship between the board and the historical aspect and how they got the land, Ms. Watt? Thank you for being here tonight. Been sitting down for a while.
Fell asleep. Sorry about that. This relationship started back in 1974, and my dad was on council then, and he was one of the big pushers for this. And that's how the town bought the property. I am new to the board and had been planning to be on the board. They had been asking me for a while. My husband was very active when he was on council, and my dad was very active, of course, when he was on council. But so I left it up to them, and then, of course, now I'm trying to be on the board. One of the reasons I wanted to be on the board is because I noticed that the relationship between the council and Historic Dumfries was not the same. And the reason it was not the same was because those that were joining the council did not know the history of the relationship. Really, the council owns that property. So pretend that's your house. I mean, do you want your house over there falling down? I mean, you know, sometimes the steps are ill repaired. I couldn't believe that there was not a handicapped ramp. I mean, how do you have a property that you open for people to come in and to view, and you don't have a handicap ramp? I mean, I couldn't believe that we hadn't gotten some kind of citation because of that. Because I know with the school system and a lot of the other public areas, if you don't have something for the handicap parking and ramps and all that, then you're going to get a citation from the state of Virginia. So there are a lot of things to speak to. Councilman Pete, the reason I think that a lot of people don't come there anymore is because of the state of the buildings. I mean, it's just not a pleasant place to be. You know, there's so much that needs to be done. And just like the fact that, we have the meter in the closet, and we've got to get that out because that's definitely a fire hazard. So there are a lot of things. The other thing that was very upsetting to me is that a lot of the work there has been done by the people that are on the board. And I mean, some of them do good work, but I mean, it's not, a lot of it is not top-notch work that I think should be done for something that we're saying we own as the historic place of Dumfries. So that's why I think that foot traffic has gone down. And the reason that they're asking for more money this year is because Prince William County was giving them $50,000, and all of a sudden they decided, no, we're not giving you that anymore. Now, my opinion, and hey, I don't care who's watching, this is my opinion. I think that they took the money from us because we now have the roads. So they're figuring, okay, you guys got the roads, you're getting money from the roads, so you don't need our money. We'll give that to someone else in the county. Okay, so that's why we are $50,000 short. We're going to be talking with our supervisor to see if she can find out for us why we were taken off the list. Because we didn't even have to apply, from what I can understand. It's just every year they would provide, because we were a historical building, they'd provide us with the $50,000. So we are really in need of this money. And you guys own this building. So just like your house, you've got to get it up to par. Now, once you get it up to par, then that means, Councilman Pete, then you can hold us accountable as to why people are not coming there. But the reason people are not coming now, in my opinion, is because it's not a pleasant place to be. Would you agree with that?
I mean, I like it.
Yeah, you like it. But look, everybody's not as historical, you know? Yeah, some people like things to be a little more organized and fixed.
So what is the house exactly? Because we got new council members who've never been over there. So I know some of them don't know what this house is. Can you tell them, and why did your dad
She's
push
the historical person.
and why your dad pushed the town to buy this house?
Yeah, absolutely. It was maybe built in 1747 as a vestry house, so a small meeting house for church officials and town officials. Or it might have been built in 1798, we're not quite sure, by Parson Weems, the man who wrote the cherry tree story about George Washington, which probably isn't true, probably just a feel-good fable about not lying to your parents. But he sold it to a lawyer named Benjamin Botts in 1802, who used it as a law office, and he defended Aaron Burr during his conspiracy and treason trial in 1807. So this was after his duel where he shot and killed Alexander Hamilton. He tried to take over the Louisiana Territory and declare himself emperor. And then after that, we're not sure what happened to the house. It probably changed hands quite a bit. And then eventually it came into the hands of the Merchant family, who the park is named after, and they lived in the house for 99 years and added on a bunch of extra rooms.
And the Merchant family is famous for what again?
Merchant Park.
And Merchant Tires?
I'm not sure if they're.
Yeah, they are. I met some of the people. Yeah, Merchant Tires. Yeah, the Merchant Tire family. So that's the same Merchant family. Councilman Young.
Yes, I got just a quick question. Looking at the numbers for repairs for the historic house, does any of this, or does any of these repairs include adding more square footage to it? Because I'm seeing you said 11 people at max can come into the house. If the necessary repairs are made, can you increase that number inside the house, or will it still be the same amount of number?
In this historic house, probably not, but we would, not included in that is our long-term plan to make that shed that I was talking about, which would hopefully be able to ameliorate that problem and house more people, especially for programming and whatnot.
Okay, thank you.
Town manager.
I just have one quick question. As y'all stated, the town is responsible for the repairs at the facility. If council funds these requests, is the ask for the town public works department to coordinate these repairs, or are y'all gonna do it directly? Just so I'm clear on that.
I guess the former, because if any of it could be done in-house by the town's public works, that would be phenomenal.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate, as being the oldest continuously chartered town, the relationship of somebody to keep the longstanding history and to keep that alive. As far as, I had the opportunity to meet Lee Lansing, who put a lot of that history in place over there, as the former Prince William County historian and Dumfries historian, who kept a lot of that history. It's where I learned a lot about the town of Dumfries as a young councilman in town, coming over there and really diving into a lot of the stuff, even from the design of the seal that we have and the rebranding of the seal. A lot of those elements came from Lee Lansing, from most people, if you look look in the middle, there's a little thistle that comes from Scotland. And then you got the braided rope from the Maritime and the water that represents our Port of Dumfries and the ship. And so a lot of those elements were taken from Lee Lanson's writings and us developing even this Newtown logo. So thank you for being an organization that keeps it.
I just wanted to piggyback on the town manager's question. That is what I remember being done in years past. The town would do the work, any work that needed to be done. So that relationship somewhere along the way, I think because I guess, you know, the history and how it was supposed to work never got written down. So it kind of got severed. But that's the way it was always done. People like Ray that just retired, he would stay after work and come over and do things, you know, even when he was off because of, you know, his relationship with the town, et cetera. So that's the way it had always been done.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you for your thorough presentation. You gave us a lot. Thank you for reminding us of this relationship.
Mayor.
Feel free to stop by the museum, any of you. I can give you a tour.
How do they get in contact with you if they want a tour?
My email is info@historicdumfriesva.org. Otherwise, you can visit our website. It has all of our hours on there.
All right. Town manager?
Mayor Wood, we thank all of the presenters for coming out today. The council will have deliberations throughout this week. They will make a decision. Our finance department will come back and let y'all know the council's decisions within the next couple of weeks. So just look out for that information. I just want to talk about next steps, sir. Thank you.
All right. Our last item on the agenda tonight is the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Okay, second.
It's been motioned and second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Oh, wow. Seeing none. Madam Clerk, please call for the question.
Councilmember Peterson. Aye. Councilmember Peak.
Yes.
Councilmember Fields.
Yes.
Councilmember Young.
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Now.
Aye.
Mayor Wood.
Yes.
Motion's passed.
All right.
Mayor,
Councilman Fields.
go ahead. I got one more thing afterwards, but go ahead. Before you close, I have something.
Well, that's it.
That's
I
it?
was about to hit the gavel.
Well, no, you're not hitting the gavel right now. So it has been brought to my attention that our wonderful town clerk, this is her first year anniversary. Yeah, she's been doing an outstanding job. I just want to put that on record.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. At this time, we've exhausted our agenda. This meeting is now adjourned.